First, I have to thank our fans. Friday night was unbelievable. At one point, I looked up and it was like standing room only. There were so many people. The energy, as always, was amazing. And then I felt, despite football and the weather, we had really good crowds both Saturday and Sunday. So thank you, everybody that did come out. And then recap of the weekend, 1-2 start. This is new to me. I have never been in this position, 13 years of coaching. And so it's going to be a learning experience, I think, for all of us. But Jackson State first match, they won the SWAC conference tournament last year. They're a very good, talented team. Should win again this year. But I thought for our first game out, with the adversity that we're going through, and not to make excuses, but it is reality for us. The injuries, the people out, freshmen having to step up and play in roles that they haven't had to yet. The lack of experience it was a learning experience. And I think overall we did well in that match. Of course, we came up short. But I think there was a lot to learn from it. After the match, talking with the team, I asked them first, tell me how you guys feel. And the first word that came out of their mouth was hungry, which for me was awesome. I told them I'm so glad they kept it positive because there is a lot of good to take from it. But then for us, we were able to see kind of where we fell short. Right now, based off of every match, we are living and dying by our serve receive, which is not good. We have to get more consistent with that. And then on top of that, we've got to be better out of system if we're not going to be able to pass. And then day 2 with Murray State, felt like it was a little bit better, still inconsistent. Definitely with serve receive, again in set 2 as well. I don't know what it is with set 2 right now, but that was a worse set for us every single match. Luckily for us, we were able to pull out that win. And then Sunday against UTA, overall, I was very pleased. Of course, I don't like losing, but the first set, we held them to a negative hitting percentage, which I think is a testament to our defense, which was huge all weekends. And then, sets 2 and 3, we kind of let up, and in tight situations, we're having to look for freshmen to make big plays, and they don't have the experience right now. And so overall from the weekends, we talked about just trusting the process. I sent them a little quote this morning. Again, it's a Henry Ford quote. It talks about, when everything seems to be going against you, remember a plane takes off into the wind, or against the wind, not into it. And so trying to remember or remind the team that right now we do need to trust the process. That we've had a lot going on and we are doing a lot of things well, but there is a lot that we need to improve on. But the most important thing for us right now is just preparing for conference.
On Saturday against Murray, what kind of was the message between sets 3 and 4? Because again, y'all were down and then y'all were able to pull it out. Kind of what was kind of communicated to the team to kind of get them to get over the hump there?
To go be as competitive as they are in practice to go be as competitive in that match as they are in practice with each other. We see a different side of them in practice. They go at each other, they compete, they talk smack to each other, and we love it because it's forcing them to bring out that competitive side. But then, they get a little bit on their heels in set 2, and we tend to freak out. And we've got to be able to be more consistent where that doesn't happen, and then learn how to make the adjustments. But we kept telling them, you guys, you have to go fight. You have to go fight. And we kept preaching it. We kept working through adjustments. And I think they did a good job of stepping up and then fighting till the end.
Speaking of fight, Kenny had a career high in blocks in that game. Certainly every one of them needed. I talked about what stood out on that day for what looked good for you there.
Oh my gosh. Cammie is a phenomenal defender. Her at the net, she is so impressive. And I didn't realize, where we were in blocks, where she was in blocks until afterwards. My associate head coach, Jasmine Johnson, said, Cammie had 12 blocks. And I was looking at the stat sheet. I said, she had 13. She was like, that's a career high for her, which is so impressive. I think it's not only who she is, but she has great pins that are setting that block for her. So I think there's a lot that plays into it.
Sunday, on at least the first couple of sets, it seemed like you guys were able to get out to a pretty good lead, a pretty hot start, and then kind of get caught up and pass. What's kind of the key to kind of keeping the foot on the gas to kind of clinch those sets.
Yeah, I think that just comes with the experience. And I mean, again, we are young. We have two, sometimes three experienced players that were here last year on the court. Other than that, it's transfers, freshmen, and maybe a sophomore or two. We have people that are just getting released from injuries from last year and just learning that cohesiveness and pushing through those situations. For me, looking at the entire series of the weekend, it was when we tend to make error after error, we kind of let up. And it's like we aren't going to attack and we still want to be aggressive. But we weren't doing that. And I think that's something that, us as a staff, we put them in those situations moving forward and we just get better.
How much, how now going onto the road kind of feels like kind of a change of pace and kind of, turn the page kind of thing to kind of move forward. How beneficial is that to kind of get out of here and take it to the road?
Yeah, I think it would be good to go on the road. We play two good teams this weekend. Houston is a great team in the Big 12. They had a run in the tournament last year. They're going to be competitive. And then Northwestern State, I mean, they are in state. They're going to give us a good match. And so for us, I think, we take all of the good, everything that we need to improve on from this weekend. We hammer it in practice for really only one day. We go through scouts, and then we're on the road. So again, it's going to be a learning experience to prepare us for where we need to be in conference.
Mio, for a second, just talk about her because she's a vet that's coming back. How is it? Is that kind of a reassurance to some of your freshmen knowing that they have sort of a guardian angel back there? She's flying all over the court back and forth. Kind of talk about her presence and what she's bringing to some of the new faces that you talked about having to see more playing time than what you thought they were going to have to see.
Yeah, so I think Mio, she does a phenomenal job on the back row. I think our defense as a whole is just way better this year. Last year, we struggled at the net defensively, and our blocking this year is unbelievable. But when we have a philosophy in blocking. It's you go defend the ball first, and then you either funnel to Mio because she is our best defender, or we force them to create errors. And so she makes unbelievable plays that other people just can't. I mean, she struggled in some areas, and we're working to get her confidence back in those. But from a defensive standpoint, she does things that no other people can. And so I think for them to see what she does, it makes them hungry to work harder and be gritty, because they set some goals in the weekend, and one of them was to outwork their opponents. And I felt, there was certain plays that they did that, but it needs to be more consistent.
A couple of other people that were really on the attack, Kaylin and Jasmine. Especially Kaylin seemed like she was just everywhere with the kill. Talk about kind of like both of them and how impressive they were in their showing.
Yeah, so Kaylin, we knew what she was capable of because she came from Southern Miss. I remember when we played at their place last year, she swung on a ball down the line that almost took out our setter, Sienna. And I was like, holy smokes, that could have been really bad if she actually did hit her. But she is going to be a huge part of our success offensively this year. She got a lot of balls this weekend, and for her, she is one that is very competitive in practice, and we talk about she's got to have that dog in the game too, because there were times where she let up, and then she was super aggressive. And so I think just finding that consistency with her is going to be big, because she is going to be one of our go-tos. And then Jasmine Gaston, my gosh, she is unbelievable to watch. She is a freshman, and she is carrying a very, very big load. I looked at her, and I don't remember what set it was, but it was day 2, and I'm like, are you exhausted right now? And she was like, yeah, but I'm good. She is one of the most competitive just dogs out there. She wants to go win. And so there were a couple of times we looked to possibly take her out just to give her a break, but she's going to go get it done. And so we're looking for her to carry a big load too. She needs to mature and develop on the mental side of the game, just knowing it, when to swing and when to shot. And so I think she's going to be really good for us once she just settles in a little bit more.